Well, good morning, whoever the one person is on here. I'll wait till a couple more. I'll wait a few more minutes. Good morning. Good morning, Fee. Good morning. I can't see the name. Richard. I know Lynn is on here. I know Dorian is probably on. My usual loyal subscribers. Come on, people. Dang. Act like they can't drive for shit. Anyways, YouTube got a new feature that I just got prompted on that I can now rewind the video for the live chat. So that's good to know. All right. Good morning, everyone. Almost afternoon, of course. So let me first tell y'all about the live real briefly. I'm about to re-deliver a package. So yesterday, of course, after I had finished doing Uber Eats, and I got requests to do the live. Now, I tell you all about the live delivery service where you go to the retail stores, particularly Bloomingdale's, Macy's, Best Buy. There's some other stores, but so far I've been going to Best Buy, Macy's, Office Depot, Petco. But there are other stores. But I've been quite busy in these last few days with the live. So last night, I get to the very last person I needed to deliver to from the Macy's in Alpharetta. If some of y'all know anything about Atlanta. If not, this is what I had to pick up. Two of these perfumes from Macy's. So I dropped off a big-ass printer, from Best Buy, which was in Alpharetta, which was across the street from the Best Buy, and went to Macy's and picked up some items from different Macy's stores. So I get to the last delivery, and it was like about a little bit after 8 o'clock, and I was like, "Where the hell is this place?" I'm driving, and it was in a shopping center at a nail salon. One of these nail salons, and it was closed. So the only people that were in there were the cleaning people. And of course, I couldn't leave it with totally two strangers and leave it without the customer knowledge. So I had to take it home. I called the live, and then they told me because I said for me to drive back to Alpharetta from Norcross, Macy's would have been closed, and so I had to take it home, and I called the live. They told me they would just give me an hour or so to re-deliver it, and they have to manually reimburse me for the mileage. Well, pay me for the mileage, which would actually be from my house to this location I'm going to. So that's what, so they're going to have to pay me 20 miles, even though it's probably, well, that's what it's about 20 miles, put it that way. There, then I got to go bring it back to the mall in Alpharetta at the Macy's. So I hope this person is there to get this perfume, which costs, let me see how much this thing costs. $358.28. That's how much the two du jour perfumes cost. $358. Shoot, man. So, and it's same day delivery. But anyway, that's not what my topic's about. My topics is going to be about tax blunders. Now, I have a friend And she calls me and she tells me the father of her child does Uber full time, arguing with her about filing the 1099. And this is what he did. Now, this is stupid. He has, he worked at ADP, and because he got a little service package, and I'm quite sure he probably got unemployment too. He turns around, files 2 returns, and arguing with her that you're supposed to file 2 returns. He filed a return for the W-2 income. Then the fool turned around and filed a 1099 as well. You do not file 2 separate returns if you have 1099 and W-2. He argued her back and forth, back and forth. So basically what I said was, no, you're supposed to put W-2, 1099, and you put it on 1 return. Now, when you file a tax return as self-employed, well, in this case, I keep 1099 independent contractor when you get a 1099 and when you get a W-2. You file it 1 return, not 2 separate returns. So I said, basically what he did, and I told her this, he understated his income. Now, let me tell you what the 2 things that's going to get people in trouble. The 2 major things that's going to get people in trouble is, 1, not filing your tax return time. Now, for those who work these 1099 gig jobs, and this is your full-time job, even if it's your part-time gig, even if you do it part-time, if you do not file all of your income with the IRS, sorry, I'm turning my head, I'm driving, and you understate your income. Understate your income means the IRS is going to be reporting every person who gives you a 1099 or W-2. They're going to report that and file that income has been issued. And if it doesn't match the return, and it doesn't match what the income that you're supposed to receive, that's understating your income. That means, say for instance, I'm going to make this real simple. If you got $10,000 of wages and you only put down $5,000, the IRS is going to send you a letter late in the year. It ain't going to happen right away. And saying that you understated your income, and they're not going to just correct it. They're going to tell you this is what your return should have looked like. And not only will you get penalized for doing that, you're going to pay penalties. You're going to be penalized not just for the taxes that you owe, but you're going to get penalized for understating your income. So if you don't report on your income, there's a penalty. Failure to pay, failure to file. Now, failure to file penalty is when you don't file a tax return. So some people, and I know I've heard this from others who come to me, they come to me when there's a crisis. They come to me when they get the letters and they get a certified letter, and they don't pick the letter up from the IRS. The IRS will never call you on the phone saying you owe taxes. Now, I've gotten these stupid calls from these dumbass people, foreigners, and then they got the nerve to leave a message on my voicemail. So I keep them. Not so much to laugh at. I keep it because, it's too frequent, and I start to try to report it to the TICTA, which is the Treasury Attorney General. basically it's like the tax police. If you want to look at it like that, federal police for for the IRS. And well, the Treasury. That's what I need to say. Department of Treasury. So two things that's going to get people in trouble, and I could hear it. I could see it when I look at people's videos. A lot of times, a lot of y'all make these videos about taxes because y'all trying to get viewerships. Y'all trying to get YouTube rich, I guess. I don't know. And y'all thinking that making these videos entitled taxes and making these stupid videos that don't know what the hell y'all talk. Half of y'all don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. So the first blunder that I want to report, which has actually been done, and I couldn't believe it because I had to shake my head. You don't file. Come on, people. I hate this. You need to file one return and report your 1099s and W-2s on one tax return. Number one. Number two is you do not take mileage and actual expenses at the same time. That was another thing this person did. He put down the mileage and all the expenses he spent on his gas, tires, etc., etc. Now, so not only will the IRS disallow the return, they're going to say the return has been completed. If a return is not correct, if the IRS asks you for information, send you a letter in the mail asking you to complete forms, documents, proof of whatever they asking proof of, your return is not complete. Period. Just because you filed a return, or another thing that most people tend to do, I gave it to my tax person, my accountant. I gave it to my accountant, and they tell me they submitted everything. If you got the letter, the accountant's not going to get the letter. You're going to get the letter. You're responsible for the information that they're asking you to submit. And if you don't have that information and you don't submit it, usually the IRS gives you 45 days to submit information and documentation. If it's not submitted, then the IRS is going to exclude it and take it off, and they're going to continue with your return without whatever missing information they need. They're going to file it minus whatever they ask for. So if they ask you for information, please provide us proof of the Schedule C on these entries, and they ask you for documentation, and you don't have the information, it's going to be disallowed. And I've done this for over 10 years, 20, maybe really longer than that, to be honest. I've seen it. I worked on every angle. I did everything in terms of the IRS. I actually started working at the IRS in 1996 when I first moved to Atlanta. But I was a seasonal employee, meaning I only worked during the tax season. And I started out in various different capacities. When I first started, I was like a clerk in the mailroom, receiving and controls. Then I went and worked as a clerk, actually as a tax examiner, verifying estimated tax payments. That was another thing that I did. So when people were required to make the estimated tax payments, I was to reconcile the records. And if they didn't make adequate estimated tax payments, they get a letter about the estimated tax payments. Now, that's another blunder that I want to discuss. So anybody got questions, let me know, because I see y'all listening. But ask the question to have a conversation, because once I finish this, I'm gonna turn on do Uber Eats since I'm in the area I'll probably do Uber Eats until 3 o'clock because they have a promotion going on. So that's another thing people I keep hearing about in all these videos. Pay taxes at the end of the year. You do not pay if you're an independent contractor, Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, whomever, and you're full time, meaning this is your full time gig, you most definitely need to be making those quarterly estimated tax payments. Meaning the payment that's going to be due April 15th or whatever the legal date is, you need to be making an estimated tax payment in April, September, December, and then January the following year, every quarter. Now, you may say, well, how do I know how much I'm supposed to pay in estimated tax payments? You look at your last year's return. Whatever your tax was on the income, and it's an estimate, because you're estimating, meaning you're not really knowing how much you're going to make, but whatever your taxes were from last year, you're going to make that payment and pay that four equal payments. So let's give an example. Say your taxes was, let's say $4,000, and that's what your taxes was on your income. So that means you want to pay divided by 4. That means you need to make $1,000 payment each quarter. Now I don't know what this magic number is, because all that is contingent on how much money you make. It is contingent on, do you have a regular job where you get a W-2, and do you make withholdings, tax withholdings? Do you make enough money in your tax withholdings to cover the tax? Now, if you only work and you do this gig economy job, and say, you don't make that much. Say you make about $7,000 a year, and you pay about $9,000 plus in tax withholding through your regular job. By the time you take out the deductions, your tax, your standard deduction, your exemption, claiming yourself or your dependents, you will break even if you're paying $7,000 to $8,000 plus in taxes through your regular job. If you make way more money than that, because some people like to tell me, this is another thing I keep hearing a lot, I ain't make that much money driving for so-and-so, so I ain't make that much. Then when the end of the year comes, when it's time to file their tax return, and you have to pay the self-employment tax, and then you don't pay enough in withholdings, you're gonna owe. Just because people think that there's all these magical deductions, and I could take off gas and I could take off this, that, but I kept track of my mileage on Stride, which is free, and I know for a fact that I'm probably going to break even to zero, because I'm already trained and knowledgeable in terms of my numbers, because I have both Schedule A and those for those who itemize and don't take the standard deduction. Now this is only going to be for this year, because come next year it's a whole different story, and that's a whole new video, and I'm going to really start writing more of my blog when next year come around, because that's a whole new ball game altogether. We just talking about this year, because this year is the only time that we're going to be able to maximize our taxes to our advantage. Everybody else, okay, I'm almost at this place to deliver. They better be there. Everybody else, um, it's more changes to come for next year. That's what I'm going to tell. That's all I'm going to tell y'all at this point. You know, it's going to be a whole new ball game next year. A lot of times people think that these tax breaks for that was implemented for Trump next year, you know, I don't know if I really agree with them doubling up the deductions and eliminating the exemptions, because that's what they did. They took away one thing to double up on the standard deduction. And then, yes, you could, the Schedule C is still going to be intact for next year. But I have a feeling if they don't impeach him before the new term election comes again, that they're gonna really crack down on these ride sharing gigs. You know, they're gonna lose tax. They're not gonna have a strong back tax break or tax base to collect the taxes, because all these industries going 1099. You know, they're not gonna keep continuing to allow people to have all these type of deductions. I assure y'all, I'm telling y'all, they look at who makes up these gig economy jobs. Us, poor people. I ain't gonna say poor. Lower and middle class individuals works these 1099 jobs, whereas these corporate people who owns Grubhub and Uber Eats and all these ride-sharing gig economy jobs, look how much they pay, 50 cents a mile. You know, I don't care what gig job you do, the average pay is about $10 an hour when you really think about it. Don't even talk about, oh, man, you minus. Yeah, you're going to say, Teresa, well, you're really making $2 an hour when you take out the gas and the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's true. Now, it's not really $2 because that's, you know, but yes, that's true. You start taking out the expenses associated with ride sharing, you could deduct those expenses on the Schedule C. I don't even make that the minimum at Uber Eats. I don't even make the minimum. I don't know what's the minimum at Uber Eats. Because, see, a lot of times you have to look at it, you have to calculate how much are you truly making. You know, let me see. Just like right. Okay, Dorian. Ooh, I have to go back, call Dorian back. And you have to look at how much do you make per hour, how much do you make total for the day, divided by the number of hours that you worked. When you factor in how long does it take you to make $150? You know, if you're working 15 hours a day, that's $10 an hour, regardless. We're not even talking about the miles. You factor the miles divided by how much you make. You know, that's a whole new That's a calculation altogether too. That's what kills me about people. You know, when they make these YouTube videos, they're like, oh my God, you did real well. Ooh, that's real good money. But you ain't never asked how long it took you to make it. Yeah, you're going to make $100 and something if you're driving for 10, 12 hours a day. Oh, yeah, you know, I hate when people talk about the grind. You got to grind. The money's out there. You got to grind. Man, grind to do what? Grind to do what? I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with your hustle. You got to make your money. You know, I work in Albany, New York, and I make $30. Last night, I worked from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. I get $2 and change for my deliveries. What? $30 last night. I worked from 10 a.m., 10, 11, 12, 1. You mean you work 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.? Or did you work from 10 a.m. all the way to 4 a.m. in the morning? Oh, okay. You see, but that's not even... See, you work at 10 o'clock, to 4 a.m. in the morning, that's not really a lot because how many restaurants are open? You know, it's not that many restaurants open at that time. And you have to maximize your time. Like, I know for a fact that right now, like 4, I would never work. See, I would never work that late at night unless Uber Eats was giving some kind of bonus. But you have to know, most likely working at late at night, 10 o'clock, you probably get orders from 10 o'clock maybe till midnight, and that's about it. But you have to, it depends on the time of day. You have to do it like a Friday, Saturday night. You'll get orders like that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably like during lunchtime. Oh, you get a lot of McDonald's. Yeah, but you know, most of the time with McDonald's, see, McDonald's is good to do when an Uber Eats got a bonus. Like they say, oh, you need to do 10 deliveries by, like last night, they had a bonus from 5 p.m. yesterday till 4 a.m. Friday morning, which is early. It ended. I didn't make the bonus because I didn't drive Uber Eats because I was doing the live. And by the time I got home at 8:30, 9 o'clock, I didn't feel like doing Uber Eats. I was like, man, I'm ready to go. You know, I already put, you know, I already drove miles. I already, you know, made my little bit of money. Yeah, start doing the bonus because see, I missed out on the bonus last night. Now I made the bonus during lunch, which was $15 for doing 3. And I was like, I could do that. I could do 3 deliveries for Uber Eats during lunch and get 3. I'm about to turn on Uber Eats the minute I drop off this $300-something perfume at this luxury nail place. So, dang it, I forgot to know what customer it was. Let me see. See who the hell this thing goes to. Oh, listen, Miss Tom. Okay, so anyway, what other blunder? Go and make that Uber Eats money. I sure will. Oh, come on, visit Atlanta. Ain't much to see. I mean, it's the things to see, you know. But living here, I'm telling you, it changed a lot. That's another video altogether. But like I said, please don't listen to people who, you know, talk about taxes. You could deduct this, that, whatever. You know, that's not as easy as it seems. It really isn't. You know, it really isn't. And please, another blunder that I hear people talk about: book value of your car is not the same thing as depreciation. It's not the same thing. So that's another thing I've heard people make claims about. They bought a car, or whether you lease it or you own it, they look at the Kelley Blue Book and and make the mistake and talk about depreciation. That's not the same thing, y'all. That's not what depreciation is when it comes to taxes. Looking up your value of your car is not depreciation when you're talking about your Kelley Blue Book value. That's not the same. So please don't even hear that dumb analogy. There's nothing on there on your tax return that says IRA 401k contributions can lower. Yeah, that's true, but that's true. You get a credit, but that's not really that's not really true too, because a 401k or a pension plan, your taxes are deferred. So when you contribute money towards a retirement plan, that money is not taxed at this time. It is tax deferred. So when you reach your eligibility age to take a distribution, depending on what type of pension you have or retirement plan you have, you're required to make a automatic distribution. Now that's a whole new expertise, but that's another thing. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's not quite correct either. You're not lowering your taxes. All that income that you contribute to a 401k is deferred. You're gonna pay that taxes down the road. So when you filing taxes, we need to stop talking about what we're doing now for taxes and focus on the bigger picture. I love to listen to a lot of financial reports. I listen to Sirius Radio, and um, there's one person I listen to. I'm probably gonna get his book, and he talks about he's a lawyer in Washington D.C. Now I ain't got that kind of money to hire him as my financial. Um, well, he's a lawyer, but one of the things that I listen to when I listen to him is he doesn't just help people in terms of taxes, because that's a tax preparer. When you go to a tax preparer, all they do is input numbers in your do your return, and yeah, okay, and but see, a lot of people jump to, I'm going to get me an IRA for small business, but you need to handle your debts. Pay down on your debts. If you got, debt, don't be running to, let me put money to an IRA. Take care of your debts. If you have a mortgage, if you have student loans, and you owe money, try to clear that up first. See, I have a thrift plan. When I worked at the government, I had set aside money, but don't focus so much on IRA contributions and stuff. Take care of matters like your debts, credit card debts, car loan debts, student loan debts, mortgage. Focus on getting a emergency fund. Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have $1,000? You know what? I've done financial peace and all these financial. I've gone to these classes and they talk about a budget. Do you have a budget? Now I was a person who was always had a budget. I mean, I paid my bills and everything. How I managed to pay my bills in these 2 years. And it's not because I did all these hours with Uber, Grubhub, DoorDash, and Instacart, and Ship, and all these little BS companies. I had about $30,000+ in cash in accounts, not loosed up cash in my house, but I had that kind of money set up in my emergency fund. And when I lost my job, and that's how I was able to stay afloat to pay my bills. So now I'm in a position where I actually had 2-3 years of savings. So now I'm dwindling down. No, you don't. You don't need to go to a tax preparer to do it. You don't need to do that. You don't need to go to a tax preparer. You could do it yourself. A tax preparer does not catch anything. When you go to a tax, that's a blunder. People stop getting on these live streams saying you need to go to a tax preparer. You could do it. There's nothing in a program. The same thing, Credit Karma, where you could do your taxes for free. All you're doing is inputting numbers. All you're doing is subtracting line 7 from line 34 to line 48 and putting what you pick. That's not hard. That's not hard to do. That's not hard to do. You don't need to go to a tax preparer. You could do it yourself. And yes, I did offer my services to do taxes for people, but I'm not charging for or if I help not even help, if I do someone's taxes, I'm not doing it for just to plug in some numbers. Now, if someone just don't have the time to do it, or whatever the case may be, I would do it, but I'm also going to educate you. It's not complicated. You're not going to miss anything. First of all, you need to have records keeping. That's what needs to be done. It has nothing to do with you may miss something. If you miss something on your return, it's because you don't keep accurate information and records. A tax preparer is not magic. We black folks, get out that magic, make believe stupid stuff. Stop falling for the okie doke. Please stop falling for the okie doke. We have a list of tax preparers that's on this dirty list. I'm not even gonna tell you what is actually called. That I did it. I worked there. I'm telling you. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. And anybody knows me, y'all know me. I'm not one to give no. Okay, let me go ahead and just tell y'all something. No, I'm not gonna give you no bullshit. And try to listen to this bullshit because that's what some of these people are doing. Okay, well, all right. Mine is complicated because I have a lot of stuff to enter this year, and I have done my own. Okay, that's good. You have to empower yourself of knowing what you have. A tax preparer is not going to know that. The tax preparer, all they're going to see is what they're going to get in these papers. That's all. Let me tell you. All they're going to see is what you give them. What you give people is what they're going to put in a computer. It ain't that complicated. People make their lives complicated when it comes to taxes because they don't prepare, they don't organize. That is what it is. I don't care if it's TurboTax, H&R Block, Monster Tax, whomever. It doesn't make a difference. You still need to organize and have your information together to put it into a computer. Anybody could input things in a computer. It ain't that hard. People, if you a 1099 W-2, what's so hard about that? It's nothing hard. If you get a W-2, or either you're going to take an exemption of how many people that you qualify for, whether you had a household, single, married, filing, joint, married, filing, separate. It's nothing complicated. Complication of taxes has nothing to do with, it's complicated, I got this. No. Even if you're self-employed or an independent contractor, it's record keeping. That is what you can see what they did last year. You need to look for overlooked deduction. Well, it ain't that much. Okay, we're not gonna keep going there back and forth. Anybody else got questions other than Derek? Because you're missing the point. Missing deductions. It ain't so. Let me tell you, when it comes to this ride-sharing gig, it ain't that many deductions you could take. You're either going to take mileage or you're going to take actual expense. It's not going to be both. So it's not complicated. If you don't keep track, if you have not kept track of your mileage and you've been driving Uber aimlessly, just to be driving, and then you come back and Uber gives you the statement saying, this is your deliverable miles. Those are deliverable miles. And that's it. Those are deliverable miles based on if Uber tells you that on their schedule K1. So the point I'm making is this, is keeping track of records. That's all it is. If you drive your car and you use it for personal and you use it for business, what is the percentage of it business and what percentage personal? If you only have one car, you're not going to be taking. First of all, you can't keep track of. If you don't keep track of your miles, whether you use an app
or whether you put it in a plain envelope and you mark it down in a book. It's not. Taxes is built in how you prepare this year. This year, right now, and I have to go and deliver this perfume because I ain't gonna talk with y'all. I can't make no money with talking with y'all. You know, because this video is supposed to be a short video. It is and I'm just telling you about the blunders. And these are the blunders that I'm quite sure I will hear about, or people will send me messages and email. Well, and privately, well, I did, I didn't file my return in 3 years, in 5 years, and I didn't take any taxes. That's another big blunder. This is gonna be the end. Another big blunder. People work at a job, a W-2, claiming 8 non-exemptions, and then no taxes are taken out, and then they want to know why you owe $8,000, and you don't know. Then you think you could lower that tax bill. You can't. You can't. If you have not, the purpose of taxes is a pay as you go. Whether you are a 1099, you pay the estimated taxes quarterly. You make $4,000 a month in taxes, you need to set aside $1,000 of that towards taxes. We're not even going to get to the state. We're not even talking about the state. So that's when you factor the state involved in it, you might as well knock off another $200-300 on top of that too. Take that off. You make $4,000 a month. You need to start putting $1,200 aside each month, and when the third quarter comes, then you need to start setting up an EFTPS account to pay your taxes, estimated taxes quarterly. You don't put the money in a bank account. I'm gonna put it in a bank account, and I'm gonna pay at the end of the year. You don't pay at the end of the year. You pay quarterly. I already went over the schedule for quarterly. So let's wake up, y'all. By the time you finish paying your quarterly estimated taxes for this coming April, and I'm going to end it on this account, if you're fortunate, look at these little snooty rich kids. They come walking in with their little preppy. What the hell? They not in school? Well, they must be on the preppy. I'm in one of the most expensive areas in Atlanta. Well, this is one of the expensive areas. Ain't nothing but people, white folks, well off. Look at these. Let me show y'all real quick. Oops. Oh, y'all can't see it. It ain't made no difference. Anyway, anywho, if you file your tax return this year and you get a refund, don't just say, "Ooh, I got money." There's a line, a very last line on that return. It asks you, do you wish to apply this refund to your estimated tax payments? You better put that money in that, make that payment towards the estimated tax payment. That's my suggestion. Make that payment and apply it. You know that refund, that if you get a refund, you just indicate it. Rather than you getting that money, you put it towards the estimated tax payment and call it a day. Taxes that we need to focus on for next year, we need to start preparing right now. You do Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, whomever. You need to either get an app, and later on, OMG, I thought this was an old video. Didn't know it was live. Hey, Miss G. Nope. You know that, like I said, you could rewind. Wait, I can't say it. You could rewind the live stream. I just got a notification that YouTube has updated its live streaming where people could do that. So That's all I'm saying. So the blunder that I'm making, and I'm going to close this video, and then I'm going to make another video in a couple of hours, probably around 3 o'clock. I'm going to try to make this three little Uber Eats sales, get my little bonus, deliver this package to this person. He better be there. Please be there. Shoot, can't be walking around with $380-something perfume. Look at this. I'm going to show you people. And look at this. Dior now. She bought 2 of them. $358.28. Must be nice. But anyway, don't make those blunders. And don't think that those softwares, the software that you use, whether it be TurboTax, H&R Block, is only good is what you put in. When you put the numbers in, it doesn't make it any better. Yeah, it's going well in Atlanta. But that's what I'm saying, y'all. Just take ownership in your own information. Don't just think that a tax preparer or anybody else can make magic. You know, they ain't gonna produce no more no more than what you know, and they only gonna do what you give them. You know, you give them every 1099 W-2. What are they gonna do? They're not gonna do anything with that. All they're gonna do is input it in a computer, just like anything else, and then it's gonna calculate the self-employment tax, and they ask you a couple of questions. Single, head of household, and that's it. You know, we can't make stuff complicated than what it needs to be, because it's not. Okay, y'all, let me go ahead and give this thing. I'll be right back. I'm going to put the phone down in a minute. Make sure this person is here. These damn kids be spoiled. I love this area. They got everything around here. All right, y'all. I'll be back. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm going to talk for over people. What's your name?
Elizabeth Tom.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see something here. All right, y'all, I'm back. But y'all left that quick. Dang.